I'm Adam Maness.
And I'm Peter Martin.
And you're listening to the You'll Hear It podcast.
Music Explored.
Explored, brought to you today by Open Studio and the Jazz Congress. Peter, we are live at Jazz at Lincoln Center.
We made it.
We made it all the way here. What's up, Jazz at Lincoln Center? What's up, Jazz Congress?
Live audience.
We are closing out the Jazz Congress, which I think is a big honor.
Well, are we closing it out or are we shutting it down?
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Is like, are they just like, okay, this is gonna be the low point, so we got to couch it way at the end.
That's right.
Or it's the honor position, which is what I'm gonna go with for the rest of this.
That's right. Way to put the pressure on us, like you always do.
Man, I'm so happy to be here with you. I'm so happy to be here talking about the great music of Thelonious Monk. We're going to be listening to 1955's Thelonious Monk Plays Duke Ellington. This is on the Riverside record label, and this is such an incredible recording. I was thinking about, like, if aliens came down and you had to describe this album. Okay, it's made up of musicians, each one of them completely reinvented how you play their instrument, right? Like there's Kenny Clarke on the drums, who is the originator of so much of modern drumming language, from keeping time on a ride cymbal to the conversations happening with his left hand to dropping bombs in the kick drum. And then you've got Oscar Pettiford, like reinventing the bass, and probably the greatest bass soloist in the history of the instrument. Maybe I'm going to put it out there.
Claim.
That's a bold claim.
You put out a bold claim.
You know how
we're going to workshop.
Whenever
that.
we listen to an album, we get so hyped on it. It's always the greatest. Yeah. And then you have Thelonious Monk, who is a singular.
Yeah.
Artist. And then, the alien is like, okay, that's cool. So I guess they're playing, Monk, known for his compositions, they must be playing all of Monk's great tunes. And you're like, au contraire, mon frere. Like, they're playing the music of Duke Ellington, who, again, singular voice, and really one of the first popular music stars of the 20th century. They're playing those tunes, those early Duke Ellington tunes. It's crazy.
Yeah. And I know we're going to get into this was a period that lasted, actually, it lasts up till this day, of great artists, both jazz artists, pop artists, singers, instrumentalists, covering the music of Duke Ellington, like delving into that songbook. And actually, I was workshopping a few titles. I didn't even tell you about this, Adam, because we improvise here at Jazz at Lincoln Center. The greatest Duke Ellington cover album of all time. That could be a title for this podcast. Okay, you're not sure. Okay, that's good. I've got other ones. The Monk's most accessible album.
I like that better.
Perhaps, yeah.
Yeah.
And so Thelonious Monk, who is in some maybe some very similar ways, wouldn't you say, known as one of our greatest composers?
100%. Well, that's why
like Duke Ellington, right?
Yeah, that's why this album is a little bit magical, because when you think of Thelonious Monk, you think of this, inventor of really our modern core rhythmic language. So much of it he really codified in his compositions, and it's not here. It's all Duke's music.
Right.
And it's still such a Monk album. Monk still makes them all his own, which we'll hear.
Yeah, we're going to hear that. And I mean, he puts his personality, like he's not shy at all about putting his personality. We're going to delve into a little bit when he changes the chord changes. He really adapts it in a way that I think Duke Ellington did approve of, actually. They had a run-in after this at Newport Jazz, and everything was A-okay, so I think that worked out. Do we want to jump in and listen to some, or we want to talk about a little bit of the...
Yeah, let's talk a little bit about Monk and maybe listen to some early examples of him developing his sound. Because Monk grew up a stone's throw from where we're sitting.
That's right.
He learned to play piano like right down the street here, right?
Right. From the age of 5, he moved. He's from Rocky Mount, North Carolina. Shout out North Carolina.
Yep.
But he grew up in the San Juan Hill neighborhood, which is just a few blocks away on West 63rd. Started on trumpet. Pretty quickly switched to piano at age 9 and was really steeped in the stride tradition of New York City at that time. Even, we know a lot about when he was going uptown a little bit later, when he was 18, 19, 20, to the clubs and interfacing there. But even in the building when he was a kid growing up, there was a neighbor that was teaching him gospel and classical, a piano teacher and stride. So you're going to hear that on this record, his stride and bebop underpinnings for sure. So his first, let's get into this. So he was the house pianist at Minton's. This is jumping a little bit ahead, but not that much so, 19, 20 years old, which was, he kind of, it's one of these things of a great artist, fully prepared, and then being that we see so often at the right place at the right time, right? At the sort of epicenter of this music that would become bebop. Yeah. Kenny Clarke was there as well.
Let's listen to some Monk and Mittens, 1941.
Yep. So you hear a little of that stride and the bebop. But you hear, you hear Thelonious Monk's style already, which is always incredible for me as we go through these great artists where it's like, oh, he's Monk already. Of course he is. We think there's some moment when he signs a record deal and becomes Monk. That's from 1941, and I know we have some jazz historians in the house. There's a little bit of controversy because it's not officially documented that that's Monk. But come on,
could you imagine?
That's got to be him.
There can't be a better room to ask that question.
I know, right?
In this room today.
Exactly. Yeah. So that was 1941, and then his first official recording was 1944 with the Coleman Hawkins Quartet. This was a great record. And in that little intro...
So interesting. Can we listen to that again?
Yeah, listen to it again. And just check it out, like at the beginning of it, you might even say, because at first I was like, wait, is that Monk?
I know.
But then there's a little thing that he does that you're like, of course that's Monk. Yeah. So like he's fitting into that thing. It could be like Nat King Cole or something. The way he phrases that, it's like that personality.
Right? So great to hear.
Yeah.
Has it been a theme of the show too, is We've heard this from McCoy Tyner. We've heard this from people like Bill Evans, Herbie Hancock, pianists that we've listened to over the years, where you hear in their very earliest recordings, you can crystal clear hear the influences, where they're coming from. And then by the time they're making their own records, they usually solidified their own sound.
Yeah, absolutely. And then, he ended up meeting Lorraine Gordon, something like 1947. Lorraine Gordon, the legendary proprietor and owner of the Village Vanguard. And Lorraine Gordon was married to Alfred Lyon, of course. This is for the podcast people. I know everybody in this room knows all this stuff, but this is going to go to some normal people too, just so you know. Alfred Lyon, co-founder of Blue Note Records. And basically, Lorraine was like a real big champion of Monk and his genius, and Alfred Lyon agreed. And from like 47 to 52 or something. He recorded a bunch of stuff on Blue Note Records. A lot of it was later titled, in fact, Genius of Modern Music. The stuff didn't sell a lot. I mean, people knew about him if you really on the inside. If you wore a beret and you hung around the West Village of New York or Uptown, you knew about him. But I mean, he wasn't the Monk that we know.
Well, if you wore a beret, you were directly a Thelonious Monk fan.
That's right.
in that trend. So this brings us to Thelonious Monk plays Duke Ellington, because Monk is about to record. Is this his first album on Riverside?
Yes. No. Yes, we think so. We're not journalists. We're musicians that dabble in journalism.
And producer,
I think it is.
Producer Orrin Keepnews had some thoughts, right? They were talking about sort of his lackluster album sales compared to some of his contemporaries, and talking about the problem. He has such a distinct style. I mean, this is the thing, when you're a genius and you're creating things from scratch that sound different from everybody else, it takes some hand-holding for the masses to hear what is so special about this, and that certainly has been the case for most of our great heroes. So Orrin Keepnews had this idea.
One of the big strengths was that I didn't really know what I was doing, so that I wasn't frightened by the fact that I was recommending to him a course of action that was unlike anything he'd ever done before. Basically, I said, what I'd like us to do is, I want to do 2 albums, trio. Let's get rid of those damn bebop horns, at least for the time being, and have you presented directly to the audience. And I would like you to work largely or entirely with standard material. And I won't even say to my great surprise, because I didn't know enough about the man I was dealing with at that point to even be surprised by how easy it was for him to agree to do that.
This is amazing.
Yeah, I was trying to think of, like, how could we relate that to, well, I won't even say today. Is this like, when Wynton Marsalis was signed to Columbia Records, if they had said, look, we want you to do an album of Taylor Swift's music entirely. Well, no, that would be the wrong year, but you know what I'm saying, like some kind of combination. It was a little bit controversial, right?
I mean, know Duke Ellington, though. Yeah, I was going to say, I know you just didn't compare Duke Ellington to Taylor Swift.
I did not, but it was a cross reference. We call that in the business.
But it is interesting to hear that thought process go into it, of like, hey, you've got these tunes that have this incredible syncopation, but people aren't getting it yet. So let's do an album of hits, essentially, and of, where you're playing other people's material. And he said, to his great surprise at the time, because he didn't know him very well, that he was totally game. I mean, we've now learned that Monk loved Duke Ellington's music, as of course he would. I love this too, because first of all, I love that it's Monk plays Duke Ellington, because of how old Thelonious Monk, I think he would have been a teenager, like mid-teens, like 14, 15, when Duke really came to national prominence. Yeah, right? Sure. So this is the music of his childhood. This is another theme of this show, Peter. The more music we listen to, the more of these great albums we listen to, the more the influence of these great artists, I realize they're all from their adolescence. It's like, I mean, that's natural. I'm not breaking any new ground here, but it's so fun to hear. Like, you often don't think about it, but yeah, of course, Thelonious Monk wants to play Duke Ellington. He's a childhood hero. He's probably exposed to his music right in that time where you're getting all of your major, influences of what kind of musician you're going to be. And you can hear that directly in the music too.
Yeah, and Monk was, famously not fussy, not only, for doing this record, but for some like solo Monk, Monk himself, live in San Francisco, solo Monk, of playing not only Tin Pan Alley standards, not even necessarily more like jazz standards like Duke Ellington, but even some songs that a lot of other musicians, unless you go back to that stride period where he came out of, would kind of overlook a little bit, but make this magical thing, So he was this incredible composer with such specific idiosyncrasies, but like his stamp, the DNA of his music is so linked to his playing as well, whether it's in the trio setting, solo, with larger groups, the big band stuff. But he didn't have any problem, as we're going to hear on this record, of filtering Duke Ellington's music through the Monk genius.
It's my favorite part about the album, what you just said, and we'll show some examples.
My favorite part is the actual music, sir.
Well, let's get to it then. Let's start with the first track, which is "Don't Mean a Thing, I Think of That Swing," And I'll just play a little bit of an early Duke Ellington version. This is with Ivy Anderson singing from 1932.
This is the original.
And then we'll go right into the Monk version.
It don't mean a thing if it ain't got that swing. It don't mean a thing. All you got to do is sing.
Play the melody again.
Right away. Give it to the bass player. Give it to Oscar Pettiford.
OP can play the melody too.
That's such a huge statement.
Yeah. The arrangements on this record are so great. Oh, and also they've achieved the swing part of the title of this, I think.
We'll get into it.
Yes. No, I'm saying they already achieved
We'll
it.
get into it.
Yeah. So that was sort of the first improvisational, straight up, just like melodic line that Monk plays on this record, which is kind of far into it for a trio. And it's just like, it's not really a solo. Now it's going to be. It's a real cool way that they. So he's like, it's almost like. A lot of B flat, but very well done. And as great as the solos up here, if you listen to the left hand, there's a lot of counter melodies all the way from the beginning.
Yeah.
Like he's almost playing two different melodic solos at the same time. Still playing around with that beat.
Such a good song.
Yeah.
Great.
Right.
What is that last one? The last voice thing. Something's going on.
I think at this part of the bridge, he's like, we already played the melody 3 times. I'm just going to solo over the bridge.
I'll just solo all the way out. I'll just solo all, I'll just blow all the way out.
Yeah. The ending to this.
How great is that? Thelonious Monk, Oscar
Yeah.
Pettiford, Kenny Clarke on the drums. Man, what is
And
that?
that ending too, it's just like when you go back and listen to it again, it's like boo 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 ba scoo da boo ba scoo da ba da beep beep boo ba. It's like this rhythm that he did. I mean, as many times as they're repeating this on the album, that very last time is the only time he does it with that little flavor on it. And it's like, to me, this kind of stuff is so, I mean, there's so many great Monk albums. It's not like, oh, you got to only listen to this record. But if you got stuck on a desert island and you only had this one, there's like a world. I mean, I've been listening to this record for like a long time.
Yeah.
A long time.
Me too.
And there you start to hear these little things and you think, you know, like I'd never noticed. I just always loved the way that it ended. And now it's like, oh yeah, that's a little bit, it's like a little architecture, a little thing above the door.
Well, speaking of architecture, the way that they approach the form, they play the head twice through, right? First
Yep.
time Monk plays it. The second time, Oscar Pettiford, the bassist,
Yep.
plays the melody, which is, especially 1955, would be rare to start off an album like that. That wasn't the bass player's album.
Yeah.
But it just speaks to the fact that Oscar Pettiford at this time is maybe the most prodigious bassist on earth, and certainly, you know, one of the great virtuosos of his or any era. And you hear that too in the solo. I'm going to lay this gauntlet down that like this trio album with Oscar Pettiford as sort of the, I mean, he's almost taking on the role a tenor saxophonist would in like, where does the burning solo happen?
Right.
It happens in Oscar Pettiford's solo. Like
Yep.
his language is so advanced for not just a bass player, but for any musician, that he's adding this like fire to all of the bass solos, and there's a lot of them on this album. There are no drum solos on this album.
No.
There are no, and I'll talk about Kenny Clarke.
Because Kenny Clarke was killing it on every track. And he's
We're
like,
gonna talk
I'm
about
good.
that later. It's to me, Kenny Clarke is doing the Lord's work on this album.
Yeah.
He's really doing some incredible, tasteful orchestrating.
So just to review, I want to make sure my notes are right. Adam likes Oscar Pettiford. Got it. Okay, good.
You can write that down again if you want. You could text it to my mom.
I mean, this track that we just heard, like I do, you know, there's always these superlatives and we lionize these amazing artists. But I want to just real quick just talk about just that track. It's not even about the artists, just like what they did to come together. Duke Ellington, Monk, everybody, you know, the engineers, the sound, the piano tuner. This is one of the best tuned pianos of any Monk record. So like I'm a stickler for that.
Of any Rudy Van Gelder?
Rudy Van Gelder, we're gonna talk about this.
Maybe
Is
the
that-
best Van Gelder piano sound?
We're
Okay.
gonna talk about it. Don't give it
Can
away.
we say that here?
Yeah. So like the art that was created by this album, I think hopefully we're gonna be able to show that as we move through this. But for this opening track, like we don't normally think about jazz as being perfect. It's not supposed to be perfect, right? But I think I mean, having listened to this so many times and learned a lot, or trying to learn this stuff and going back to it, I think that's a damn perfect track right there.
Write it down.
I'm writing that down. You know, and I think that that's okay. Not that all jazz has to be there, but when you have, you know, Monk, there's so much stuff. It's 5 choruses. It's like very specific arrangements. There's actually at least one so-called mistake. So I don't mean it's perfect in that it's totally calculated and written out. There's one time when they go to the bridge where I can tell Oscar Pettiford's like, wait, I thought I was playing, and Monk kind of comes in and takes over the melody. But even that, they turn into this really cool musical moment, and they're so cool, and as we heard in the session before, hip about it. I was glad to hear that that's not a dirty word anymore. We can use that.
I agree with your take on this. It's like a perfect track. And I actually think that one of the strengths of this album as a whole, we've been listening to it a lot on the build up to this episode, is and listening to it repeatedly over the last couple of weeks, is like how tight it is. I mean, this is like a 42-minuter that
The whole
there's no spare fat on the whole album.
Yeah.
Everything feels essential. Everything. It's a really enjoyable listening experience top to bottom. It's a complete album. It's a really, really good one.
So let's talk on top of it and talk in between the tracks so we don't get the flow of it, right?
Sounds great. Here's some more, some versions of It Don't Mean a Thing that we put on here. This is a good one, too. It's been covered a lot, this tune.
So I think what's so great about that's of course Louis Armstrong with Duke Ellington, the great meeting, the great reunion, whatever that record, fantastic record's called from like 1960, early 60s.
61.
61. So like what's so great about that in relation to the Monk version is that, you know, like Duke Ellington, he didn't always do this, but I mean, going back to like 1930 or whenever the 29, the original came out, like that was part of the tune, right? But as we heard on the original, like it was like this can be so corny, right? But like something about, I'm not going to fully be able to do it. Like those little things that Duke Ellington would do even back in the day, but definitely by here, he's playing it pretty straight, right? Like that's happened. And then when Louis Armstrong comes in, he's like boo boo wee boo doo wee, like he's totally out of time, like floating above the thing. In some ways, like Monk doesn't really do that with the time as much, but he does that with the harmony on this.
He does it with.
Like he changed the chords on this.
I'm still trying to figure out some of those voicings. Yeah, do you got a line on those voicings? What are those voices? That last one, there's like there's something that's going on that I'm not hearing yet. I'll get it. I've only been listening to this for 35 years, so just.
I mean, the main thing is the original, and Monk turned it into. Like he didn't resolve it fully to the last note, and then Kenny Clarke's, and then it's back to the. So it's just like. I think, you know, when we did our little arrangement at the beginning, which
that was great, bud.
I'm rethinking the genius of that.
That was
at this point,
buddy. Don't shortchange yourself.
No, but it does, like when we play this music, like let's make some choices about how we want to do it.
For sure.
Let's follow in the footsteps of Monk. Let's not we're not gonna be able to play it like Monk. We're not gonna be able to play it like Duke Ellington. This music, there's so much there in these simple compositions that's why they're called standards.
One more version of this that I just want to hit. This is a fun one.
The Duke and Ella. So let's have a wonderful.
That's all.
Don't mean a thing if it ain't got swing. Do-a. It don't mean a thing. All you gotta do is sing. Do-a. Makes no difference if it's sweet or hot.
And then after that, it's just kind of Ella's tune.
Ella did this. Ella, there's so many great live this Ella Sullivan is incredible, and Duke Ellington's there, and he's almost doing like some Herbie McCoy type, like because it's the mid '60s or maybe probably
65, March 7th. 65.
Yeah, and it just shows how flexible he was and how like he didn't get stuck in something that could have become very corny. And Ella's just, I mean, I've never heard a live version of this where she wasn't just killing it, you know.
Yeah.
And she did it in this E flat, but she did it in a couple, I think she would just start singing and they had to, because she did it recorded in some different keys.
Let's go on to track number 2. Peter, this is, I know, a favorite of yours because you include this in, I mean, I've heard you do this as an encore too many times. I'm going to say you've done it too many times, but this is Sophisticated Lady.
It's like the swing switch just comes on. Ready to go. That brush.
Is there... It's so good. Is there a musician that is more identifiable in 2 notes than Thelonious Monk? I mean, he's got to be up there. It's just everything from his touch to his language, his harmonic, his melodic language is so unique. His rhythmic language, obviously, so unique, so personal. It's to the point where if you do anything like it, people are like, oh, you're just doing a Monk thing. Like, it's so identifiable, such a characteristic of just him.
Monk really had his Monk stuff together at this point of his career, right?
Cool. Good pod.
No, but he did. I agree. I mean, of course, he's very identifiable. And I would say for folks that are like maybe just Monk curious, or I've heard some very thoughtful listeners that are like, I've never gotten Monk. I can't quite hear him. Like, this is a great entry point, a little gateway drug from Monk. I think is very much.
It's a great point.
It's not like this is not smooth jazz Monk or anything.
By design, this is
Yes.
a great entry point. They meant for this to be a great entry point for people.
Yes.
That was Orrin Keepnews' whole thing, right? Is this album is going to bring him a larger audience by playing these well-known tunes, and they're playing them, by the way. I'm not sure if I want to go fully on my Kenny Clarke thing right now, but the way Kenny Clarke is playing this is to bring people in, which we'll talk about
Right.
when I go full Kenny Clarke later.
Yeah, I mean, it's like they're playing Duke Ellington's music in the lobby of the greatest hotel. This is the greatest trio ever, and then you're like, wait a second, is that the Thelonious Monk trio in the lobby of the Four Seasons? I mean, it's a treat. Like they are playing like any other piano trio.
Every song is like
yet
4
no
minutes.
other piano trio.
Every song is
right?
like 4 minutes long.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's super tight. There's just a ease to this. The next
Now,
track.
one thing
Go
I
ahead.
just will throw a little bit of a monkey wrench until we go too far down the thing is actually the record after that, was that Brilliant Corners? What was the record he did on Riverside?
Brilliant
after-
Corners, yeah.
Yes, that actually sold and was more popular, if that matters at all.
Which is insane.
Which is crazy because it's a much more. I mean, it's mostly. I think it's all except one track. Monk's tunes. I don't think it's like aggressive, but if you hadn't heard Monk and compared to this, it's a little bit like what's going on?
I mean,
But people, I mean, like that was when he really crossed over, and people
well,
like
because
he's a
it's so
genius.
him. It's such
Yeah.
a statement, his personal statement, and it just goes to show you that just because A&R guys don't know everything.
No, but I mean,
historically we've.
But the case could be made that people were like, "Oh, we love the Duke Ellington record. What are you going to do next?" You know, the music of, you know, something that was, you know, Gershwin or whatever, something easier. And the fact that he came, and it starts out very like hardcore, but one of his best-selling
Oh
records.
yeah, it starts.
Yeah.
Yeah. Next track is incredible. This might be my favorite Duke Ellington song. I Got It Bad and They Ain't Good.
This is all rubato, out of time, but the way Monk plays rubato, like there's still like a pulse to it. Like the way he phrases the melody and connects it with the harmony, his little, some of the alterations that he adds.
It's rubato as a singer might.
Yeah,
Right.
he's super lyrical, super lyrical. He plays the whole chorus rubato.
Can you do any of those?
I mean, I don't know if this would be the appropriate place to, but I can. And this segue into the time is one of the simplest,
Yeah.
most.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
One vibe, one vibe, one vibe.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you like music theory? Kenny Clarke, man. And then let's just swing out over this MF. You know, it's just
Careful. I mean, the cliche, right? The cliche is always that, you know, the piano is an orchestra unto
Right.
itself, and Monk defines that with this. There's always a cello line happening, right? There's always like a trombone section, ready to comment on what he's just played up in, you know, the higher registers. There's always a harp. Right,
Yes.
all of those. There's always this feeling of grandeur in his solo piano arrangements And even when he's playing with the trio, there's like this never-ending melody. These we talked about this in the Frank Sinatra and Count Basie Live at the Sands, right? The Mozart rule of three, that there's never more than three things going on. But with Monk, it's like there's never less than three things going on.
That's right.
Because there's always these counter melodies. There's always this contrary motion. We just heard of that, Miles.
Right.
An incredible story from Marcus Miller about the contrary motion from Miles Davis, but there's always that kind of stuff happening.
Yeah.
Interesting thing about this one is the very next year on the Riverside label.
Oh, I was going to tell you first that I snuck in a little bit of a hidden, a secret version of this tune just for fun.
Wait, what?
Because you said this was one of your favorite. Isn't that on this? I Got It Bad.
Oh, yeah.
So this is something, and those in the audience, maybe some of you know this, maybe some of you don't, but this is another, we just play different examples of these great tunes and to see how they connect with like Monk's interpretation, the pliable nature of playing these beautiful Duke Ellington standards, what you can do with them. But this is something that a lot of people don't know about. And I want to see if anybody, including you, Mr. Maness, Mr. Podcast Star, can identify the singer on this version.
She never treats me sweet and gentle the way she should. I got it bad,
Chilling.
and that ain't good.
Does anybody have a guess? We will open it up to guesses. Anybody know who that is?
No, Sarah Vaughan. No, it is not Sarah Vaughan. Not a bad guess, though.
Anyone have a guess as who might that have been?
That's a very good guess.
Good guess.
Wrong, but good guess.
Peter Martin, who is it?
Do you know who it is?
No.
Because I didn't label it on there. That's Marvin Gaye. Yes, 1966.
Let's listen to one more time. You'll hear it.
She never treats me sweet and gentle
Wild, right?
the way she should.
And that,
I got it bad.
and that, my friends, is why on this podcast we, of course, cover Thelonious Monk, Miles Davis, Charlie Parker, many of the greats, but also Marvin Gaye, Stevie Wonder, Prince, and you know, Steely Dan, and these other things, like these connections with this great music and stuff. Sometimes it's like directly in our heart, which is probably the most important, in our ears to our heart. But also when you get these occasional kind of overlaps, stylistic overlaps, and you're like, oh, of course that works. That's Marvin Gaye. That's Duke Ellington.
I think I Got It Bad and That Ain't Good is one of the greatest, like, again, when you talk about like economically written,
Yes.
everything, the music, the melody is so beautiful. It makes like this perfect sense in your ear. It stays in your ear in this really incredible way. And then I love the lyrics too. It's a very tightly written story. Here's another version of it from the very next year, 1956, on Riverside, produced by Orrin Keepnews. Bill Evans. So it was going around.
Yeah.
It was going around.
That was a year later.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think you talk about, you know, Marvin Gaye, Bill Evans, Thelonious Monk, Ella Fitzgerald is an incredible version of this. Like, this is one of those songs that it's easy to say, and I agree, I love the lyrics. I mean, if I had to pick one Duke Ellington song I had to hold on to tightly, just one, it might be this. Even over a sophisticated lady. Yeah.
I mean, just that.
Incredible. But I will say that it is like, it's easy to say, oh, a song like this, it just plays itself. It just sings itself. And we just showed some great examples. But in that, it's also a hard song to pull off if you are not a top art. Like that's the thing about these kinds of compositions. And I think what Monk does so great on here, he makes it look easy. Marvin Gaye made it look easy. Bill Evans makes it look easy. But I think that these upper level compositions actually, you know, you gotta come correct with them for sure.
Next up is Black and Tan Fantasy. So this is a older Duke version, and we'll go right from the Duke version straight into Monk's version from the 1955 album.
1927. Damn. track. Damn. Now this solo right here.
Is this the one?
This is such a great blues solo. Major 7.
I'm gonna stop you. Okay, because I know what's coming.
What are you doing?
Exactly right. Yeah.
I know. I was just gonna say like Monk does. I love this is some nerd piano stuff, but it's just like bing, just ends on a big B flat on a B flat blues,
Yeah.
and it sounds great because of how he set it up.
We might have more on this solo later. I believe this might be your
apex moment.
So
Yes.
I want to, Peter, do you mind if we just spend a couple of minutes on Oscar Pettiford and Kenny Clarke and talk
Yes.
about sort of like where they came from, where they are in this?
Yes.
So I found this cool recording of Oscar Pettiford playing in Duke Ellington's band. This is called Basso Profundo. This is a bass feature. Oh, you'll hear him. Duke will sell that.
You'll hear it.
Yeah.
And now, a little tune to present our two bassists, Oscar Pettiford and Junior Ragland.
Junior Rack. This is live at Carnegie Hall, 1947.
Duke's like,
So now they're trading, and what's
my bad.
what's really amazing is you can hear Oscar Pettiford's bebop language so
Yeah.
clearly. OP. Junior Ragland. OP. Even in those couple of courses, you can hear that like the harmonic, sophisticated overlay of the bebop language on Oscar Pettiford's solo, whereas Junior Ragland is in more of that swing tradition, huge sound, just like, you know, laying down these incredibly swinging lines, but you can hear that difference even on a recording from 1947.
Just to call back to last season on our podcast, I heard a little bit of Thriller and a little bit of Off the Wall, Michael Jackson.
Okay.
Yeah, because that was Quincy Jones in 1947 who did the arrangements on that concert.
That's not true.
That is absolutely true. It says it right there.
It's not true.
It isn't true?
That's not true.
Okay, that's why we edit this out.
So that is Quincy Jones doing the arrangement on the next track.
That's what I read.
Tricotism.
That's called a setup, my friend.
It's pretty much an academic podcast at this point. This is Tricotism. This is from 1954.
Ah.
This is an Oscar Pettiford original called Tricotism from his Modern Quintet album, the year before the Monk album.
Right.
Not great. That is arranged by Quincy Jones, very young Quincy Jones. There in 1954. Pretty great, though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good
And then a little bit on Kenny Clarke. You know, Kenny Clarke was the oldest member of this trio.
Yes.
He was There's so much great Kenny Clarke to play. I was thinking of this, 1949. It's Venus de Milo from Birth of the Cool.
Yes.
Recorded in 1949, not released till 57 as an album. And then this is Bag's Groove from Milt Jackson's 1952 album, Wizard of the Vibes. Lou Donaldson on alto, John Lewis, Percy Heath. And as you mentioned, these three musicians had played a lot together over the years,
Right.
uptown here in New York City, and I don't think they ever did any other trio album, which is
This was it.
might be a Quibble bit of
think
mine
so.
a little bit later.
Yeah. Okay.
So just an unbelievable meeting of three people who changed how we think of their instruments, but done in this way that was meant to draw in a larger audience.
Yeah.
So in this really, for lack of a better word, commercially applied way of their talents. It's really
Right.
interesting.
Yeah.
Next up is Mood Indigo.
And we're getting to this. This is the beginning of side 2, by the way, for those following at home with your LP. Man, Monk's intros on this, everything is.
I know.
That one's weird and beautiful. His willingness to just start improvising on the head, killer.
So hearing him play this, it reminds me of how influential this was. We just had in our studio in St. Louis, we had the great Sullivan Fortner come through a few months ago and is playing, those, harmonizing himself underneath the melody in his own chords with his hand, with his right hand, either below or above in this effortless way. And it's a continuation of what Monk is showing us here.
And I think that this version of Mood Indigo, I know for a lot of people this is like their favorite,
good.
Duke Ellington song, and it's very, slow and beautiful and swinging more in like a less overt way than this one. It's just ding, 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 and he's improvising on it and stuff. But I think it's a really, really, really fantastic reading of it, and like especially for a piano trio, as opposed to trying to be something that it doesn't need to be. It's just like, and it fits into this record really well too. If you listen to it from beginning to end, it's placed, especially as you turn the record over.
Next up, Peter, we got a #1 hit. How about that?
Okay.
How about that, Mr. Keepnews?
Yeah.
we got I Let a Song Go Out of My Heart. So this was a huge hit for Duke Ellington back in 1938.
That's the Duke version.
Yes.
Yeah. Can you imagine a #1 pop hit starting with a Duke Ellington piano intro? That's nice.
Here's Monk.
This thing.
all the stuff happening in between the phrases.
Yeah, so great. He's playing some non-chord tones, though. Just putting that out there.
He is indeed.
So and that one line, like it's a kind of out of character form, although he plays with that kind of feel. But what he's playing right before it, and he goes into that. Like Monk was a very, very foundational blues type of pianist, actually. Okay. And I think because his style seems so unique, and it is so unique, we forget that he plays stuff like like his music is riddled with that. But it's the way he gets in and out of it that's really fun to kind of find those little things.
The penultimate track is Solitude. This was very close to being my my Desert Island track. It didn't quite make it, but this is incredible.
Slides out of rubato into the time. Kind of hints back to the rubato.
Magic. It's magic. Interesting to hear, like a transcription of that with some instruments that could sustain longer, to hear what those harmonies sound like, continuing on, like with strings or voices or something like that.
Yeah.
As a classical piano friend of ours said, the piano is basically a decrescendo box where everything disappears very quickly. I would love to hear him being able to sing that.
Should we get to some categories?
Let's get to some categories. We'll start out with Desert Island tracks because we both have the same one.
Caravan.
It's the last track on the album, and this is a masterpiece.
The ultimate, not the penultimate.
Do you mind if I play a little bit of Duke's version?
Yeah, just a little, and just a little of this, because...
First time we're hearing sticks on this album.
On Caravan, right? I mean the Monk version.
Yeah, this version. Yeah. The first sticks.
This is the first stick
on the album. Yeah.
Okay, Kenny Clarke, even more of a genius. He already owns it. He already owns the tune. Yep, that's the correct melody.
Well,
Yeah.
but is it?
Yes.
Hold on, Doug. We're gonna go back.
Oh, good. Our first controversy on the. You'll hear it on this. You'll hear it. We're talking about the accuracy of the melody.
This is some nerdy Jazz at Lincoln Center stuff. If we're gonna arm wrestle. But what does Monk play?
Exactly that. Well, it's fun to listen to it again anyway. Oh, really?
Yeah.
He's got the counter melody going again, like on the first. Oh,
He goes up there.
Yes, but he does the last part.
Yeah, the last
Okay.
two notes are the same, but he goes.
So we're both right. Yes.
No, I'm right. You're
Check out how he does it this
very
time.
not right. So we're both right.
It's his interpretation. That's what we've been talking about the whole time. Monk takes the music and makes it his own. Well, no, because the last part is what a lot of people play wrong.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, I play it wrong all the time.
This whole track is incredible. This is, both of our Desert Island tracks, just because, which is a ridiculous thing. Like, this is my Desert Island album, possibly, so it's hard to find one track.
I told you, we get hyped on these when we listen to them.
Yeah.
What's your apex moment?
So that on Black and Tan Fantasy, we started to listen to it, but that in Apex right up to the end of this solo. The whole solo goes right up, and then it ends. The track just like ends. It's this whole solo, perfect blues solo. I find no fault. The way he just slides in and out of those fields. Whole tone, of course.
Yeah, this is probably his best solo on the album, or my favorite solo too. This is a really, really great solo.
Oh, this
Great pick.
right
Pete.
here.
Yeah.
Ah.
Peter Martin, you redeemed yourself
This is
after that Caravan fiasco. I appreciate you, bro.
Oh, and the Quincy Jones? Come on.
So my apex moment is I want to talk about Kenny Clarke's brush masterclass
Is
because
that the next session in the Noble Room? I'm in. I want to go to that.
next year. No, this is a playing brushes in a piano trio masterclass.
Yes.
So as I mentioned, that Caravan right here, the last track is the very first time we hear sticks on the album, and he's only on it just when he's playing with his hand and his sticks, and then he goes to brushes to swing.
Yeah.
And to me, there is no this detail of what Monk is doing between the phrases. There's no these incredible Oscar Pettiford bass solos where you have all this energy without Kenny Clarke doing the things that he's not known for. Like
Agreed.
known for dropping bombs on the kick
Right.
drum, known for,
Hi-hat.
like a conversation with his left hand,
Yeah.
known for, keeping time with the ride, with the stick, that quarter note emphasis swing feel that he had. He's doing none of that on this album. He is keeping this trio together in a way that is so mature. I was 41 when he made it, but like he's making the choices that make the music better as opposed to him shining on this. And
Tastemaker.
I didn't notice it until literally like listening to it on the plane here. I was like, that's why this album is so great, is what Kenny Clarke is doing throughout it. He's laying down the foundation for these two great soloists, Thelonious Monk and Oscar Pettiford, to be able to take off. And
And the fact that he did that without like when we hear it, you don't even notice it.
That's what I'm saying.
That's
It's
what
like
makes it so.
you just
genius.
assume
You're not
oh,
supposed to.
Kenny Clarke, it's swinging, it's great.
Yeah, if you'd asked me, I would. I started doing it. Remember at one point,
Well, that's-
he was playing brushes. I was like, "Ting," and I was like, wait, no, it's over here. Okay, gotcha. But the groove was there.
Yeah, buddy. This is like again like what we talk about with great drummers that we love to play with too. You talk about someone like Gregory Hutchinson or his mentor Kenny Washington or whatever, who's able to keep the intensity high while keeping the volume for a piano trio. If there are any young drummers listening to this, like I don't know if young drummers talk about this album, but it's such an incredible example of you're giving the rest of the band this huge gift that we get to have our full dynamic range on the bass and the piano. It's an incredible showing from Kenny, and I just want to give him a huge shout out on this because he doesn't get a solo. He doesn't, you know what I mean? He's not in there like it's not sexy what's going on, but it's like he's serving the music.
Awesome. All right, let's talk about Bespoke playlist. Let's run through these a little faster than we do sometimes.
Okay.
Are you cool with that?
I mean,
okay. You seem sad. What's your Bespoke playlist? Now, these are things, this is like a Spotify playlist that you would put this on, which it doesn't need to happen, actually. So.
I have Orrin Keepnews' No More of Those Damn Bebop Horns playlist. Other albums on the list include Easy Does It by Bobby Timmons and Explorations by Bill Evans, both piano trio albums with No More of Those
That's right.
Damn Bebop Horns, according to Orrin. What about you? What do you got?
I've got greatest composer collisions. We don't need to talk about it. I've done better on other things.
You're supposed to be a marketing guy, is that right?
Right.
Okay.
Do you have any quibble bits? These are little, quibbles we made.
I mean, my quibble bit is a little bit of like, I work too hard because I'm just, my quibble bit is, I wish there were like 2 or 3 more albums of this trio. That'd be great, That's
good.
Yeah.
I've never said this before. I think this might be a quibble bitless album for me. I find no fault with anything. I think it's perfectly balanced.
Peter, you normally said this literally dozens of times.
Have I said it?
Yes.
Well, sue me. I love greatness. Okay. No, but I mean, normally when there's a Rudy Van Gelder piano sound, as those of you that listen to the pod know that's not my favorite sometimes. But I think this is the finest piano sound Rudy Van Gelder ever captured.
I agree.
I think it's brilliant. I think the engineer, the drums is perfect. The whole thing, the production,
totally
monks, arrangement. Yeah.
Snobometer, what do you got?
Snobometer.
How snobby is this album on a scale of 1 to 10? Is it 1, not very snobby at all? It's super accessible, which was what it was intended to be.
Yes.
Or is it 10, super snobby?
I'm going 5 because I just don't understand this Snobometer.
Great. I'm going 4. We're not even going to talk about it.
Okay, this is a good one. Is this album better than K.O.B., Kind of Blue?
Is it better than Kind of Blue?
Yes, Adam. And this is a yes or no question.
I'm going to say no, but it's not worse. How about that?
Oh my God. You've just contorted yourself better than ever. I'm going to say maybe.
We asked Ashley Kahn.
Yes, Ashley Kahn literally wrote the book.
Who wrote the book on Kind of Blue. We said, what do you think, Ashley? And he said, I don't think about music like that.
Yeah, so maybe we should just jump off that. Good.
Accoutrements, what do you got? You got the album right there.
7, 1 to 10 being great. Like, as much as I love this record, that's my only slight quibble bit. This album is a nice album, but like, it has nothing to do with the music on it, unless this is some kind of weird cultural reference to Caravan or something. I don't know. Yeah. It just doesn't. It's a well-designed thing, and maybe I'm missing something. It's fine.
I also have a 7.
Yeah,
a 7 out of 10.
That's a C.
Okay.
C.
If this were to like autoplay another album, what would be up next?
Yes, that would be Brilliant Corners, because it was his next record on Riverside. It's a different record, but it's very much at that zone of.
I almost picked it. That's a really good one. And also you get that like nah da 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 right off of like this Caravan fading.
Yeah.
I have Money Jungle. I have Duke Ellington.
Possibly his second best trio record.
Duke Ellington and Charles Mingus and Max Roach's Money Jungle, because in my mind that's filed under like a monkish version of Duke.
Yes.
You know what I mean? It lives in a similar place to me when I listen to that.
That's a great one. So. Okay, we nailed it as we always do.
Well, I wouldn't go that far. But we had a great time. Lincoln Center, thank you so much for having us.
Jazz at Lincoln Center, Jazz Congress in the house. I'm going to read this out. You'll Read It is available. Sign up for our newsletter. Go to you'llhearit.com for all things You'll Hear It. We are produced by Liz Hames. Caleb Kirby is our editor. Ian Martin, designer. Big shout out to the whole Open Studio team that produces, sponsors, and does everything.
Shout out everybody here at the Jazz Congress. Thank you, Riley, for having us and introducing us.
Beautiful introduction. Till next time.
You'll hear it.